The Brit's the place to be. Radio living is the life for me. Airwaves spreading out so far and wide. Keep your FM, just give me that internet side.
Online is where I'd rather stay. I've got a lot of music to play. I just adore a Yankee view. Darling, I love you, but give me a show to do.
The Chat.
The Brats.
On air.
That's fair.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, British life.
The Yankee and the Brit on air.
Hello, good evening. I do believe we have Jake Wilson on the phone. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
How are you doing over there? I hope you have your, what's his name? Oh my gosh, I forgot already. Steve Martin hat on.
Oh, yep, I'm a rambling guy.
You got your banjo with you?
Oh, no, I had to put that one up, darn it.
I'm wondering
Yep.
if Steve Martin won't outplay you.
Oh, I think he could.
I was surprised when I heard the first time, years back, that he could play, and I was like, what? So I started listening to some, it was like, that dude's amazing.
Yes, he is. He's a master.
Unlike me, who was a masturbator.
Hey, watch out now.
So where are you? Any place exciting?
I'm in what they call Richmond, California.
What are you doing way out west?
Well, that's where I was born.
Were you really?
Yep. Yes, sir.
For some reason I had you pictured as a Southerner.
Well, I was kind of raised that way. All my family, well, not all my family, but my grandfathers and everything, they come from Oklahoma.
Well,
And they kind of raised us up. They raised us up, go fishing, go hunting, and the way they talk and all their music and everything like that, kind of raised us up country.
Is Oklahoma in the South? We don't recognize it in Texas.
Okay. Well, I don't know. That's something I wouldn't know about. Now, Texas, if you don't consider that South, I guess it's not South to y'all.
So, have you got a musical family?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Tell us about it.
Well, when I was little, my dad plays and sings, plays guitar. That's the only thing he's ever played is a 12-string Gibson, and he sings. And he learned from my two-fingered uncle how to play, pick, and sing. So it was basically my Uncle Frank, my dad Sam, and my grandma Leslie. And we all, we'd all pretty much sit around and play every weekend together, and just around the house.
Lindsay Peterson says, howdy, Jake.
Oh, how you doing there, Lindsay? She's a good friend.
I think she tuned in to keep an eye on you.
Okay, yeah, she better do that.
You never know what you might come out with on this show.
Yeah, you never know. Me and Kay Bradley, man, we could kick up a fuss, I guess.
You write all your own songs?
Yes. I the ones that I have recorded, yes. Either me or my brother Lucas.
Well, your song "Song on the Radio" has been on the radio now.
Hey, I'm accomplished now.
See, dreams do come true.
Is there anything that's happened in your life, or any influences, or anything that's defined how you write your music style?
Yeah, actually, my family's a bunch of dredgermen, so it's pretty much working man songs, and the kind of stuff that we did, the hunting and fishing, and just kind of being together, kind of thing, everyday things like that I write about. Mostly, I try to get creative every now and then and write something that ain't got nothing to do about anything, really.
What is Valley of the Moon all about?
Valley of the Moon, that was about a fellow musician who I really admired. His name was Norton Buffalo, and he was local here from Richmond, California, too, but he was also I don't know if you guys ever heard of Steve Miller. You probably have.
Of course.
Well, he was Steve Miller's best friend.
Well, that's getting up there.
Yeah, he toured with Steve Miller quite a bit. Norton Buffalo is a harmonica player. piano player, accordion player, but he's an awesome vocalist. And I kind of loved him for his harmonica playing and his vocals. It was very unique to me, and I kind of aped him a lot with a lot of the things that I do. Inspires what I do. And I guess you call him Americana more than country music. He did some country music songs, but he was more or less Americana, blues type of guy.
I listen to a lot of Americana, and I just love it. I think it's great.
I thought Americana was a coffee.
Well, it is. It is a coffee. It's quite popular at Starbucks. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, can I get my Venti Americana classic sweetened, please?
How did it end up being a music genre? So, what was the first song that you ever wrote? Do you remember?
I don't think you guys have heard it yet. I don't think it's kind of controversial, so I don't know if I'm really gonna put it out there because I know that they don't get a whole bunch of airtime, and it's a song called I'll definitely send it to you.
Yeah.
But it's a song called Lost in the Mist, and it's I have a lot of Native American blood in me, so I wrote a song kind of about that and how I feel about that, and kind of like as far as my family goes and how that intertwines with my American Indian heritage.
Very good.
Ah.
And I think it's my most creative song as far as putting words down, you know.
Well, then we'd definitely like to hear it.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it to you, absolutely.
So what musicians do you admire and why?
Musicians do I admire and why? Well, it'd have to be, as of right now, it'd have to be Marty Stewart would be one of them, because, boy, can he pick a mandolin and a guitar.
Yes, sir.
And it's a whole bunch of fun to watch him do it, and I learn quite a bit while I'm watching him. And he definitely inspires me, and I like that rockabilly and that old-time country music, too. And he seems to encompass both of those very well. Another one would be Ricky Skaggs. I love Ricky Skaggs. Who's another one? Vince Gill. They kind of all run together right there.
They're all from the same era too, really.
Yeah. But again, like I also like Elton John. That's kind of different. I love Elton John. I love the way he plays the piano. He was very inspiring. I love the piano. That's another instrument I really, really like. And I love the way he plays the piano. Jerry Lee Lewis for how he plays the piano. And Doug Kershaw for the fiddle and the accordion. And we could sit here till next Christmas, and I can kind of go over all these people that I really like. But the one I keep returning to most is probably Marty Stewart. He's the one that I'm trying to kind of get the licks down from right now, and incorporate that into what I'm doing.
Well, he's got a lot of cool jams, but I still think, in my book, that High on a Mountaintop is probably my favorite one.
That's a good one.
That really puts some feel in my soul when I listen to that. I don't know what it is about it.
I'd have never have guessed when you're belting it out at the top of your lungs. I'd have never have guessed.
She's heard me attempt that a number of times.
Yeah.
I don't care if I can sing it or not. I just enjoy it. So that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, well, he had to have Pam Tillis back him up on that because nobody else could back him up on it.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, because when he hits the, high on a mountaintop, he had to really get that. Or if he would have went and got Patty Loveless, that would have been another perfect person for that kind of belting that out, that song out. But I thought he picked a good person, yeah.
Ooh, Patty Loveless.
Too.
She's not my type.
Patty Loveless. Ooh, baby. And she can sing, too.
She's not your type, huh, Donna?
No,
Oh, darn.
No.
I can't get her to switch over.
Well, well, you know, you do what you can. You try, you know.
Hey, if
Try
my wife's going to see other women, I expect it to be somebody like Patty Loveless or, oh, geez, what the hell's her name? Does Independence Day?
Yeah, Martina McBride.
Yeah. Oh, can she put out a couple tunes? Wow, God, has she got some notes?
Yes, she can. She's definitely another one of my favorites. I don't know what she's doing much anymore, but she used to be quite the thing.
Oh, and what a doll to look at! Ooh, man.
Not
boy.
She was
down, boy.
when she was young.
Yeah.
I met her in Nashville when I lived outside of Nashville and worked around there. The sign shop where I worked at, she'd bring her kids over and leave them with the guy that I worked with because his wife would babysit them while she was gone working, which I assumed then was in the recording studio. It was back in when was that, in the 80s? And
wow.
she'd come in there, man. You just couldn't take your eyes off of her. She was just that, you know. And it wasn't just her looks either. It was everything about her was just.
I have the same thing with guys too. They're the same with me. They just can't take their eyes off.
I know it worked with me.
I know. I'm talking crap as well. Just ignore me.
Well, that's quite a choice of artists that you like. Those are all right up there high with me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never met her, never been around her. But I'm sure she's a pretty nice lady. Got quite charisma and all that kind of stuff. And you know, everybody I ever talk to, they like Shania Twain. And don't get me wrong, Shania Twain's got a lot of songs that I really love and care for. But I could never get behind it. I don't know.
Behind her music, you mean, or her?
Oh, but you
I don't mean
behave.
it in a bad way. Shut up! I'm talking here a minute. This is interesting. This is interesting stuff. What's her name? Shania Twain. I also met her because I think it was a place called the Wagon Wheel or something in Nashville, and she had just come down from Canada not too long before that, and I went in there. I was I forget why I was even there, but I think I was just out looking for some place to hang out. And she was in there practicing before the show, you know, and she come over. I was the only one in there because I was in there early, and she come over and sat down and chatted a little bit, you know, and finished her drink, and then she got up and left. But she didn't strike me as actually one of the most friendliest people I've ever met. You know, kind of, I don't want to say she was all about herself, but I think she was headed that way, maybe.
Right, gotcha. That's kind of the feel I always got about her too.
That's the feel that she puts across in her music as well.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I forgot what I was going to say.
Your boots fit under, and I feel like a woman. I'm gonna smack you in the head. I feel like a woman. You know, yeah. But I love her song Always. That song is like one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, she's got some great tunes, no doubt.
Yeah.
Have you met a lot of those people?
No, I've met none of them. I've met none of my inspirations and my heroes. Except for Marty Stewart. I've met Marty Stewart and got to hang out with him, and he told me the next time I see him, I get to pick and sing with him a little bit. So we're going to see if that happens.
Oh, man. So what's he like? Tell me true.
Oh, he is just the best. He is just like the guy next door, man. I mean, he's...
Oh gosh, if he's like the guy next door, I don't want to meet him. You know, the guy next door is like a 6-foot horse.
Okay,
have you seen him?
That's a bad description. That's a bad description.
It is if you saw our neighbor.
Yeah, he's like a 6-foot horse.
So. But I mean, he's so approachable that it's crazy. You know, I went and I asked him. I said, you know, would you mind doing a song for me tonight? Because he come down here to Berkeley and he played a place over here in Berkeley. And I was asking him, I said, you know, would you mind playing Hobo's Prayer for me? And he goes, well, we'll see if we can get her done. You know, he goes, I got a lot of people. He goes, you know, a lot of people asked me to play songs tonight. He goes, so I got to just let you know that right now, you know. He goes, I might not be able to get to it. He goes, but I'll be back and I'll definitely play it for you. And he didn't get to play it for me that night. But the next time he came, like a year later, he seen me in the audience, and he looks at me and he goes, I got you. And he pulls it out and he starts playing it. And I was blown away that he even remembered who I was.
Yeah.
Or any of that, man. And he a guy that truly loves what he does, and he loves being with the people. And to me, that's really cool. You'd have no problem whatsoever talking with him, and he's great to talk to. Got all bunches kinds of stories of being on the road and who he's talked to and who he's played with. He's like he's 25 years old. Sit there and talk to you like he's 25 years old, you know.
Yeah.
And he's great. I love the dude. He's a great guy.
And how cool is that you are in one of his stories now, you know?
Yeah, there you go. Kind of like that. I mean, not that anybody knows it or anything, except for you guys. I'm sitting here telling you, but that don't matter, because it seems like, you know, did you get to talk to somebody like that? It seems like everybody knows it, and it's kind of like, wow, you know, it's really cool.
Well, I think that's pretty slick, man. I you know, when I see him in videos and stuff too, he's just got that smirky little grin that you just can't help but smile when you see him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I can see why Connie Smith married him.
I would have married him if I'd have known better.
He's not my type.
I'm only serious, you understand.
Yeah, I know. He's just a little bit serious. I know.
So, Jake Wilson, what's your earliest musical memory from when you were young and had tiny feet?
What a great question. And you know what? I know the answer to that.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You'll be one of the few. Hit it, Al.
I know. Okay, this is the first song that I remember that made me like music, and it is "Peanuts" off of Charlie Brown, the Charlie Brown theme song.
Is that
Really?
right? That is one of the coolest things
Yeah.
I've ever watched. You know, I mean, of course, I'm 60, and I've been watching Charlie Brown and all that for years and years. You know, and just in the last 10 years, I really haven't watched much of it, but. You're right. That song, there is just something about that music that just makes you happy and bounce around like a little kid.
Exactly. I still love it to this day. It's one of the ones where now that I'm older, I can go, God, I wish I would have wrote that. I wish that would have been mine. That I would be the one that done that, because I love how it goes, how it just, the whole thing from start to finish, how it goes. And you know, as a little kid, you don't know that, but as an older person, it's just like, yeah. And that would definitely be the one, my earliest memory.
I know it's funny, the things you pick up as you get older. All of a sudden, you know, you're like a whole different person. You look back on that stuff and you realize, you know, if I only knew then what I know now.
Exactly.
Would you not be as stupid?
Probably. Not.
Probably.
Not.
I'd have to be in agreement with that. Yeah. Listen to my mama a little bit better. Yeah.
I don't ever remember listening to her, but she sure as hell listened to me and let me know about it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
You too, huh?
Yeah. You
Sorry?
guys are great.
Oh, I am.
I just
I am. I'm just not sure about the bloke sat next to me.
Now shut up.
Ah.
Oh, those bloody Brits.
Hey man, I like a lot of them guys, man.
I've been
Monty Python is one of my favorites.
I'm telling you, man. One of my little quick story is that I've been following the Brits since Benny Hill became popular in the United States. You know, I was a little kid when he came out. And
right.
I've watched, what the hell is the hotel?
Fawlty Towers.
Fawlty Towers. And, I've told Donna all the British shows I've watched over the years because a lot of Canadian TV played it. And I lived up in Ohio. That's where I was born and raised. So everything came across the lake from the Canada side. So I got into all the British stuff. And, you know, I was always talking up one of them and trying to be this and trying to do that and blah, blah, blah. And one day, about how long ago was it we met?
6 years ago.
But 6 years ago now, I started my radio show because you can do it on the internet. It doesn't cost anything.
Day.
You know? And from 5,000 miles away, somehow, some way, and, you know, I'm one of those guys that believes in meant-to-bes, you know. She stumbled onto my show, and it's been 6 years now. We've been married 4 in April, and I can't get rid of her. But, you know, I had to order out for a decent woman, which was pretty crazy. You
seems pretty cool to me, man.
You have no, you know what? Every friggin' day, this woman makes me laugh at something stupid. You can't beat that.
There you go. No, you cannot. Absolutely not. Like I said, I love my wife. My wife, she does the same thing for me.
Good, good.
I'm sorry to get away from the music.
If you're lying in bed one night and you're both trying to sleep, and then all of a sudden you start laughing at something stupid, that's when you know you're in a good marriage.
Yeah, but does it have to be every night?
Why not? Laughter's the best thing. I said, you know, if you don't kill yourself, laughing is the best thing ever. Because, you know, I've laughed so hard where I thought, I wasn't going to make it.
If you just hear the things she says, you know, and it's nothing will come to the top of my head at the moment, but some of the shit she comes up with is just like totally British, you know, and it makes you wonder, like, where did you come from?
Remember the other night you were in bed and I was like, "Hey, baby, want to kiss me with your dick?" And
Whoa!
he was
You should have said yes.
I
couldn't. I was too busy laughing.
He was giggling. He's giggling. The bed was just shaking because he just wouldn't stop giggling. You know when you're overtired and you talk about stupid stuff.
So, like I say, never a dull moment with a Brit.
Radio station.
Oh, all right. Go back to the we're supposed to be talking about and leave my dick out of it. Go on, then.
You behave
Carry
over
on.
there. Do you perform in public?
Yes, I do. I haven't had the chance to in a couple weeks, but I normally play out in Berkeley where I saw Marty Stewart play. It's a place called the Freight and Salvage. And I used to play at a couple other open mics, but other than that, that's the only place I really played at.
Cool.
So are there still days of Berkeley floating around in the area, or is it all gone away now and all those times in the past don't exist?
No. Berkeley is still Berkeley.
Yeah, people still talk about things that went on out there back in the 60s?
Oh, sure.
Really? Just can't let that go, can
sure.
they?
No.
I suppose being part of history, it'd be hard to let go. I mean, that was their history, so...
Yeah. But it's actually it's a pretty cool place to be. Really, you can go there and kind of be like you're in San Francisco without being in San Francisco. And don't get me wrong, I like to go to San Francisco and stuff, but just getting over to San Francisco is a pain in the ass.
California is one of the few states I've never been to, so I really don't know, you know, other than the culture of hearing what I've heard over the years and everything.
Oh, okay. Well, Berkeley, San Francisco, Oakland, Richmond, we're all real close together over here.
See, when I hear those names, I think of the 60s.
Yeah? Well, I couldn't tell you too much about that. I was born in 77.
Ooh, he ain't much younger than you.
He's older than me.
I thought you were born in 79.
I'm born in 79, yeah. He was born 2 years earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Holy crap.
I know. And you know, I feel like a right haggard old bag.
Well, I don't think you ought to.
No, I shouldn't.
No, it's all right if she does.
Hey, I tell you what, today
Okay.
we was in this shop and the whole shop got a live Yanki and the Brit show. The cashier guy says, would you like a bag? And Randy says, no, I've got a bag here. And then, meaning me. And the guy didn't get it at first. He says, excuse me, what did you mean? And I said, I mean, he's calling me an old bag. And the guy just burst out laughing. And then that was it. Me and Randy started throwing insults at each other.
And then about everybody in the queue was laughing at us, carrying on, thinking we were a couple clowns.
Someone said they must be married.
Hey, man, as long as you're having fun.
Yes, sir.
Well, we have plenty of that.
As long as you're having fun and you love each other, and that's all good.
I said we were having fun.
Oi. Behave, Mr. Pants.
Well, I mean, you don't have to love each other if you don't want to.
Yeah, sometimes. Do you have a band?
Okay.
Come on, husband. What's not to love about this? What is not to love?
Well, I could pick a few things, but anyways.
Right. Yeah, no, I do not have a band. I'm a one-man show.
Really? Where'd you record these songs that they sound great?
I recorded them in a studio with my nephew, and I played pretty much all the instruments.
Wow. That was another question, is what instruments do you play? But, wow, that's fantastic.
Mandolin, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, bass, drums. He did the keyboards, and I think that was about it.
Wow, all that Marty Stewart stuff going on there.
Yeah, well, I try to learn as many instruments as I possibly can. You know, like I said, the Norton Buffalo guy, you know, I tried to learn the harmonica, but damn near killed myself.
From learning the harmonica?
Yeah, blowing on that thing, I'm good. I don't much care for it.
What did I miss? I was getting a drink.
Oh, I was saying I tried to learn to play the harmonica, but I dang near fell over from the, you know, just blowing in and out.
Oh, yeah, it can be exhausting, can't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, I ain't got too much experience with it.
Sometimes when me and Randy are singing, you know, I get a bit of a head spin. You know, I get all lightheaded when we're belting things out at the top of our lungs.
What's so new about that?
I know. I'm just talking rubbish.
I was talking about the lightheaded.
You're just being brave because there's another guy around.
And the public stereotypes blondes. Boy, if they only knew the difference between blondes and brunettes. None.
Oh.
I prefer the brunettes, thank you very much.
You did say you play out, right?
Yeah, I haven't played in a couple of weeks, but I have played out before, yes.
Do you still get nervous when you get up there?
I have no problems playing in front of people. I wouldn't. It's hard to say exactly. It's not nervous. It's a kind of a friggin' energy type thing, you know. Because after I'm done, I go up there and I play, right, and I get back off and I'm shaking, you know, a little bit. But I think it's like excitement, like overexcitement.
So it's like getting high on the reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best kind of
And
high.
no, so as far as answering your question, no, I don't get nervous. I don't get nervous as far as singing in front of people.
How do you handle any mistakes that you may make during a live performance?
Oh, you just keep going. You know, you either keep going or you stop and you start over again. You're there to give them a performance. So, you know, you usually make a little joke or something like that, and then you start over, or you keep going, or you ad lib on to what you're doing, you know, and hopefully it goes unnoticed.
How long you been in music?
Oh man, I've been playing. Like I said, I wrote my first song when I was 10 years old. I've been playing good ever since I was 14 years old.
Wow.
So, and I'm 40 now, about to be 41. So, what is that?
You have any advice for beginners, for independent artists that want to get really move forward with what they're doing?
My only advice is just do what you love, man. If you love it, keep going, because it'll pay off in little ways.
Do you want to be famous?
Do I want to be famous? Of course,
Yeah.
I want to be famous.
Do you really?
You know.
Would you sign that big contract with those big boys?
I ain't signing no contracts with anybody. But as far as being noticed and being out there in front, of course I'd want to do that. But as far as, you know, the labels are bullshit now.
Right.
They no longer exist. So, you know, any kind of money, of course I'd like to make a little money at it, but any kind of that has to go on. I'm gonna have to do it myself. So I'm really getting a lot of enjoyment out of meeting people like you guys.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry to hear your problem.
I am. Seriously.
Thank you.
And I'm getting my song out there. You guys are playing my song. Hopefully you like it.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
And hopefully, you know, we become friends, and then I can keep coming back to you guys and the Phil Cran show and whoever else I may meet. That's the real fun of it. You know, that's what makes it worthwhile. But if somebody grabs a hold of me and says, you know, hey, we want you to go sing over here, and of course, no problem. You're going to have to pay for it, but I will do whatever you want.
But you wouldn't sign up with one of those big operations, even though you might get all the money you want, and you know.
Not unless I knew it was 100% right that they were gonna. And I'm ready for that too. I know how to take care of that if that ever comes knocking on my door. But I really don't see that happening because It's just like the big labels no longer exist. They're looking for you to pay them. They're not taking a chance on you anymore, you know?
Yeah, we've heard that a number of times. What is up with that? How do they expect anybody to get anywhere?
Well, that has a lot to do, and I'm not putting it down, but that has a lot to do with the internet. You know, there's no record labels, there's no records and CDs being made much anymore because nobody's getting out there and really buying any of the CDs. They're streaming it, you know. And in order for me to have it, because like I got all my songs and stuff registered and ready to go and all that kind of stuff, and I'm being played on the radio right now through Cashbox Magazine and Record World Magazine. It's just, you know, you have to be streamed like billions and billions of times before you make any kind of money on it.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about it. One of our questions a lot of times is, what do you think of, you know, Nashville today or today's music that comes out of Nashville? And we pretty much get the same thing, and that is, it's terrible, you know, is the basic answer we get.
Yeah, it is terrible.
So have you got any advice for your future self if you do end up rich and famous and loaded with money?
Well, you know, I'm a very poor person, so I'd like to see and take care of some people who need it, and just continue on making my music and taking care of my animals and my people.
Well, you got your own farm?
No.
Have you got a menagerie?
Well, you said taking care of your animals. You're talking about your family then.
Oh,
yeah.
husband.
Oh yeah. We're definitely animals.
Sounds like my kind of people.
Yeah, no, I got a couple dogs, but I'm a, you know, lover and stuff and everything, and I am somebody who likes to go hunting and all that shit too. But you know, I believe that there ought to be animal and human sanctuaries for people that ain't got nowhere to go. Animals ain't got nowhere to go. I'm kind of big on that. Not an activist or anything like that. I do believe there is a way to make it happen without pissing anybody off.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. The whole world is a friggin' nightmare anymore.
It's a mess. And if I could contribute in any way, I would definitely like my opportunity to.
You got any hobbies?
I like to act. I like to do voices. I work with my brother a lot. We do carpentry and things and stuff like that. Do stuff with his house because he's got a good job and works on his house and things like that. And my family, I come from a bunch of, I don't know if you guys know what this is, but dredgermen come from which is like it's basically a big vacuum on water. And what they do is they dig the bottom of the ground under the water to make it big enough for ships to come in and out, or to clean out hazardous places that have been poisoned or whatever, and get all that material out of the water.
Right.
And I don't know, like I said, I don't know. Not a lot of people know about dredgermen.
Oh yeah, well I do anyways. But I follow a lot of shipping things, and you know.
Okay, cool.
There's a couple guys on my Facebook page that are tug captains, you know, so
Oh, okay, yeah.
I kind of keep up with that kind of thing. And then over the years, you know, too, I've heard about their dredging this lake or dredging this harbor or this river. And like they did in where I come from in Ohio, they dredged the Ashtabula River because it had just gotten so full that even the small boats couldn't get around.
When you
too
said
much.
dredging like that, it made me think about when people say, oh, you're dredging that back up, are you? You know, like you're bringing something up from the past that you don't want to talk about. You're dredging it up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The funny thing is, Donna, is that it was invented where you're from.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. And it you know, kind of made its way around the world.
I think they paid everybody with tea bags back then, didn't they?
All the best things are all the best things are British.
Of course they are.
You see what happened, though. We threw them and their tea out. So.
Oh, well, you still banging on about that.
Tell you what, though, they're a pretty mean bunch at one point.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's why we threw them out.
There's still a meanie right here.
Oh, those bloody wankers.
No, I got love for the British. I got, but you know, we're my family. We're Scottish and Native American. So
You remember that song? If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, make an ugly woman your wife.
yes.
If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a British woman your wife.
You guys, you guys are hilariously terrible.
That's exactly the title we've been looking for.
Oh, yes, we love to be called terrible.
Do you have a day job, or is this all you do is music?
Actually, as of right now, I do not. I'm looking for one, but I don't have a day job right now.
I'm not trying to get too far away from the music thing again, but what's the job market like out there? I just read something the other day that were more people that left California coming to Texas and a bunch of other states, Arizona, New Mexico, but there's more people left California in 1 year's time than came to California.
It's true because the homes have spiked. The rent and the mortgages and everything just skyrocketed. So it's crazy to live here in California. I mean, I don't want to say you have to be rich, but you damn near have to be rich or have at least 4 people who are working living in the household. You know, we got 2 people, God love my stepson and my wife, who are working right now that we barely make it, you know.
I just don't understand that. How can your typical family, I mean, if you got a mom and a dad and 2 younger kids, that can't go to work, what is that much of a struggle?
Oh yeah. Right here? Yeah, because, okay, put it this way. We're in a 2-bedroom little bungalow, right? And it costs $1,975 a month.
Now, why?
Joking, that's
I know, that's
mental.
ridiculous. Why, though? I mean, what is that just the landlord, trying to make a buck, or is that because he pays the majority of that to keep the place up and, pay his bills and blah, blah, blah?
Well, I think a little bit of both because, I mean, like I said, every day, it's not just here. It's everywhere in California. I mean, well, it's in the Bay Area, I should say. That's what I should say, like Marin, San Francisco, Vallejo, all around where the water is, by the water,
right,
by the Pacific and stuff, is just skyrocketing. Now, I could go up north a little bit, but around the water over here in the Bay Area, where we call the Bay Area, it's terrible.
So, are the wages higher to compensate for the high cost of living?
They're starting to do that right now, but it's not doing anybody no good because they're just starting to do it. And you go into the grocery store and a steak costs, $15 for one friggin' steak. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts.
I'll tell you what, we was watching, and Randy probably knows where it was, because I was a little bit half asleep and I was playing a game on the phone, but sometimes we'll wake up about 5 o'clock in the morning and watch some random TV in the morning. And what was it this morning that you was watching? Randy had something on the TV where these places, I think it might have been in Japan, and some of the places, the apartments that people live in are that small that they can't even move around in there.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And he was saying that, and the program says that people actually go to places like McDonald's just so that they have the room to actually sit somewhere and sleep because their apartments are that tiny. And
yep.
I can't remember how expensive they says they were. The apartments were really, really expensive just for something so tiny.
Well, in Hong Kong...
Was it in Hong Kong?
Well, that's where the story was based
okay.
at. But in Hong Kong, they have places... Our cabin is 16 by 40, and, it's long and narrow, but there's room. We have our shop in here. We sleep and eat. We live in here. But places half of that size, well, actually a quarter of that size... What did he say? How many square feet did he say? It was 200 square feet or something they're living in. And they're paying, some of those places are paying, what did he say? Some of those are $740,000 to live in them.
My God.
Yeah, and $600 and something dollars just to rent a weekly parking space.
Yeah, that was another thing.
God.
It's like, are you out of your friggin' mind?
It's mental.
Yeah.
But you know they
It's-
can. I
it's
think they
scary.
can afford it though because they're sending all their junk over here.
Probably. It's a bunch of craziness.
All right, back to the music.
Okay.
I could sit and bullshit with somebody all night.
So have you made any music videos? Do you intend to make any music videos?
Actually, yes, I do. I'm working on a new album right now, and hopefully I get to do I'm going to be doing one called that I'm going to be making a real live action movie video for.
What's it called again? You kind of blanked out there for a second.
Oh, it's going to be called Good Man.
Cool.
I think there's a few of those left.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
So where can people purchase your music?
As of right now, they can't really purchase it anywhere. That's what I'm working on right now is distribution. I think I'm going to be going through Empire Distribution on that, and pretty soon I'll be up on Spotify and iTunes and all that good stuff. That's coming probably for I'd say 4 to 5 months. It's still a ways off because, like I said, I'm poor and I gotta wait till the guy gets home to go do to go get in the studio to do my songs, which don't take me long. It doesn't take me long to record the songs I want to do because I know exactly how I want them and how I want them to come down, and it doesn't take me long. But just getting my guy there, I'm gonna try to rope him in, get these songs down, and
Have you still got your Steve Martin hat on? You might need to replace it with a foil hat because your signal keeps going in and out. Have you got any
it does? I'm
have you
sorry.
got any tin foil you can put on your hat?
Is this any better?
Go on, do it again.
Can you hear me now?
You're still going
Can you hear me
a
now?
little bit. Stand on one leg.
Can you hear me now? On one leg,
Yeah,
2 toes.
2 toes. Put your right arm out.
Got it.
And put
Can
your
you
left
shake it
foot
all
in.
about?
And put your left
Yeah,
foot in,
yeah.
and then shake it all about.
Okay. right butt cheek around the couch.
That's the
okay.
one.
Put some
There
tin
you go.
foil on that left one.
Okay, you got it. I got a little bit there. Okay, cool.
Okay, now I've got you in full signal.
Good. I'm going. Oh, phew. This is kind of hard holding myself like this, but I think we can do it.
You may look like Beldar, but I think you're all right.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you ready for Randy's random questions? These questions will blow your mind. They are so interesting that they will blow your mind.
They'll blow your little tin hat off.
Well, I'm ready. Blow it off.
There was something else I was going to ask him, and you just kept yakking over there. Now I forgot what it was. Oh, one more question.
Okay.
Do you worry about earthquakes?
Not really, because, I danced through all the ones that we had. We had one earlier today, I think. It was a pretty good shaker.
So it's so common that it's not that scary.
No, it's not that big of a deal until we have one that lasts a little bit. And the longer it lasts, the more nervous you get. It's kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. Can you stop now?
And then when
Yeah,
it's over, you
but,
say, that was one hell of a fart.
Yeah, one hell of a, exactly. I got to knock that off. Quit breaking wind over here. We're about to have a mountain collapse.
You can come over here and listen to the mountains sing. We're at this place.
Well, that's fine. Then.
That's the wife, not me.
Oh, I know.
Right?
I've had really bad farts this week. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's up with me.
Isn't that something? She's proud of it.
There are some times when I think, hey, I'm proud of that one. That's one for the Bradley family album.
For the family album. There you go.
Okay.
When the dog comes over, sniffs and runs away, then you know it's a good one, don't you?
Yeah, well, either a good one or a really bad one.
Yeah, if you disappoint the dog.
Yeah, well, we were outside fixing a sign today, and she was facing into the wind, and I was upwind from her, and I could still smell that thing. All right, question number 1. You shut up now. I had enough of you. I'll put you on the first plane back. Now, number 1, what's your favorite word?
My favorite word, fuck.
What is your least favorite word?
Homeless.
What turns you on?
Music.
What turns you off?
I guess hatefulness.
What sound do you hate?
Oh, the backing up beeping noise. Oh my God.
Beep, beep, beep.
That's it.
That's what happens when I turn around, and then I start, and then it goes beep, beep, beep. This vehicle is reversing.
Just so you know, these are all open-ended questions, so there is no right answer or no wrong answer, just your answer. What's your favorite drink?
Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I can't drink the regular Coke because it's too syrupy for me. I don't understand it, but it's just what I like.
I just don't like the aftertaste of diet soda. That's the part.
Well, I had to switch. I had to switch at one point. I used to drink regular Coke all the time, but I'm about ready to give it all up and go to that ice sparkling water. Man, that stuff's really good.
You missed your number 5 question.
I
What
did not.
sound do you love?
What sound do I love?
Oh, I guess I did, didn't I?
My wife's voice.
Okay, and we did the what sound do you hate? We did the drink. What profession, other than yours, would you like to attempt?
So, other than being a
acting.
musician.
Acting, probably.
Which remind me to ask you about voices when we're done here. What profession would you not like to do?
Dredging.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard.
Don't you
I've
like
been doing
being
it
out
for
there?
a while, and it's bad on the knees.
Don't you like being out there on the water?
Yeah, there are parts of it that's quite lovely, but there are parts of it where it's just like 12-hour days and being on the water and all that steel and everything. It's hard for a fat boy.
So, what is it about that job that's it's so hard or boring or whatever?
No, it's not boring. It's not boring. It's just it's strenuous. You're running up and down the dredge all day long, and in any kind of weather, you're out there in the element. I mean, there is no protection unless you get down in the engine room. And I've watched it cripple my whole family, basically. So it's just like I don't want to do that.
Do you use a what do you use to dredge with? I mean, a pump and the conveyor type situation together, or?
No. It's a suction dredge. The only ever dredge I've ever been on is a suction dredge, which has a ladder on the front and a cutter that cuts up the material and sucks it through the pipe.
Uh-huh.
And we have a pipe that goes out onto the beach, and it pumps it on the beach or into another barge if it's hazardous, to be able to go get rid of it, depending on what kind of material you're digging in.
So when you put it back on the beach, though, doesn't it just eventually wash back out?
Yeah, it does. It does. That's why the place I was working at, that's why everybody had a job forever, because down there in Santa Cruz where I was working, they had the mouth of the harbor, and that's where we used to dredge. Is the inside would just get flooded back with sand, and then the ships couldn't get in and out of it, and that was a very high, very rich place right there. So they had to make sure that their sailboats and catamarans and all kind of stuff can get in and out of there. So, and it was a man-made port right there, so that's why it kept filling back in with sand, because they didn't build it very well right there. They didn't understand about currents and water flow and all that kind of stuff like that. They kind of just built it without even understanding that. So that's why we basically had a job there forever.
Now look at that. Job security. Look at me. I'm not even an engineer, and I could figure that much out.
Right? It just kept filling back up, and it's like, you don't understand. You should have went out on the left-hand side further than the right-hand side, because that right-hand side, that water's coming right past it, and it's sending that sand right back into the harbor right there, and it fills right back up. So you should have went further out with the jetty on the left-hand side.
Yeah, well, hello, wall, when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean,
And question number 10, last one. If heaven exists, What would you like to hear God say when you get to those big, shiny, all well-polished pearly gates?
Your family's waiting on you.
Cool. Can't ask for more than that.
Thank you, Mr. Lipton.
You're the first one that knows that. I'm impressed. Very good. Nobody knows that hardly. I've never had anybody say anything about that except you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm a pretty educated hillbilly.
I used to watch him faithfully, man. I loved it. When he did Robin Williams was probably one of the funniest ones that he ever did.
That was definitely a very favorite of mine, yes. That one, and I like the Dave Chappelle one, too.
James Lipton, quite a man, must say.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Always stern like a school teacher or a banker, but a good sense of humor.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm done over here on my end. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask you about the voices, so you didn't remind me. You do have slippage over there.
Yes, yes.
You said you like to do voices, too. Exactly what voices are you talking about there, young man? I mean, do you imitate bells for angels, or what do you do there?
Oh, dude, Jimmy Stewart. I can do Jimmy Stewart a little bit there. What's the other one? My Rio Bravo.
Fill your hands, you son of a bitch.
That's John Wayne. That's what I told everybody how to do Johnny Cash. Everybody wants to know how to do Johnny Cash. I said all you got to do is just sing like you're John Wayne. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. You know, that's all. That's it. And you can do it. But I was talking about well, DJ, I tell you, come along there, little boys. I'll tell you what there, Chubby. You know, I just hear him laying down the law right now. I told you to get back in there, you know.
You're going to have to do a promo for us in one of your great voices.
Oh, no problem.
That'd be cool.
To.
Why, I don't know if you know this, but you're listening to the Yanky and the Brit.
Yay!
What about...
Let me just interrupt you. There was... Randy had a...
Every time I'm having a good conversation, the British come along.
No, let me tell you guys, and you guys will love this in the chat room. Randy told me yesterday that he was talking to somebody he knew from broadcasting school, and they were in the mid... Go on, you better tell him this story.
I was just trying to find somebody from broadcasting school. I went to broadcasting school in Cleveland way back in the early 80s, right at maybe 79, 80, it was in there somewhere, maybe 81.
Cool.
So I found one of these guys that was in class with myself, this girl, Yvonne Gibble, and the guy I'm talking about, Tom Merck. We were the top three in our class. We graduated top three out of there. And I asked, when I first contacted him, I said, are you Tom Merck that did this and did that and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And he comes back and he says, yeah, I think so, blah, blah, blah. And he says, aren't you the one that helped me do my promotion for my recording studio, Star Trek? And I said, I think so. I kind of remembered it. And he says, yeah, you're the one that, how did he say that about it? He was talking about taking a dump, about beaming one down, I think is what he said.
Yeah. He says he ditched it halfway through because he had to go and beam one down.
Yeah, that was it.
I think I was giggling about it for the rest of the day yesterday. I mean, now in this day and age, you can take a picture and upload your download.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor. Don't beam down my load now.
Oh my gosh, what a laugh you have.
Oh, shit. That was funny. That was great.
Jerry Lee Willis had mentioned Walter Brennan. That's another one from, wasn't that Rio Bravo where he was singing along with, not Sean Cassidy.
Ricky Nelson.
Yeah, Ricky Nelson.
Now, Jerry Lee Willis in the chat room does a great Clint Eastwood, and he did an awesome clip for us.
Oh, yeah, he did a great Clint Eastwood. I had to put it to the video clip because it was just so cool.
Yes, yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he says, he does the part from Dirty Harry where he says, I don't know if you...
I guess if you're going to listen to the show after your interview, I'm not sure what your plans are, but listen and I'll get Randy to play it.
Okay.
But he did good at that. But I've always been doing voices for a long time.
You feeling lucky, punk?
Yeah, that's the
The
one.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know if he played 5 songs or 6.
Oh, fucking beam one down. That was hilarious. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. That was good.
Sorry, I've got to have a dump. I got to go beam one down.
Makes you think over 20 years later, Randy has not changed.
Well, right on. You're the one that thought about having him say that.
It's been a little longer than
My
20
day right
years,
there,
too, by the
huh?
way.
Has it really?
The 80s till now?
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah, man. I remember the 80s. A little bit of them.
I was young and good looking at that point.
I don't remember anything after 74. Then it was a guess.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you would like to add before we flush you down the Yankee and the Brit Show toilet?
It's tradition?
It's tradition. It is the Yankee and the Brit Show tradition that we flush you down the toilet.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, okay.
It won't hurt.
Not much.
Okay,
not
cool.
much.
One. Is it going to smell bad?
No, but take your tinfoil off. That might plug things up.
Okay, I'll take my tinfoil off. Is there anything else I'd like to say? Nope. Other than I hope everybody has a great night and they tune in to the Yankee and Brit Show as much as they can, because you guys are great, man. And
Well, thank you very much.
if you wouldn't mind, they could see all of what I have on my Facebook, and if they go to Jake Wilson's Facebook, you'll be able to see everything that I've done.
Thank you. Thank you
And
very
then
much.
I'm doing. And pretty soon I'll have an album here pretty soon, and we'll talk about that when that happens.
Do you do any Facebook video live?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I got all kinds. If you go to my Facebook, go to Jake Wilson's Facebook. You just type in Jake Wilson's videos up on the search bar, and you should be able to get all of my videos, all of my live videos, and all the videos that I've made. They're okay. I'm trying to get a better video recorder thing, because I really don't like the way I sound on there a whole bunch. It's okay, but it's not great. And it's just for somebody who's like me, who's a half-ass perfectionist. I like to be able to sound a little bit better. I don't care if I mess up or anything like that. That's really not, that happens. But as far as, my sound, when I sing and I play, I kind of like it to sound how I'm hearing it when I'm playing it,
Yeah, exactly.
rather than all the ambient noise and shit that goes along with it.
Donna's laptop is like that. It sounds like you're listening to a transistor radio from the 60s. And so we play pretty much everything through my computer because, we use it for the show and everything, so it sounds a lot better.
Right.
Jerry Lee Willis in the chat room just said that we had to get a plumber when we flushed him down the Yankee and the Brit Show toilet. We flushed some shit down that toilet, let me tell you.
Well, if you wouldn't mind telling everyone who tuned in to me tonight that I said thank you, and because I don't know that they're on there, but I sent it out to as many people as I could, hoping they'd stop by and listen to us talk and bullshit and have a good time.
Well, definitely more than appreciate you coming by and hanging with us. It's nice to enjoy a good conversation with somebody and be able to chat with somebody and have a good laugh. That's a big key to it for me.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you guys playing my songs. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much. We got your one other tune here, Mardi Gras, to play.
Yeah, I'll be sending you some more music too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And Donna will have this out, if I know her, tomorrow sometime. She cuts the interviews out of the show and then reposts them so you can share them with your listeners or followers or whatever, and everybody gets a chance to check you out, and you get to listen to yourself. Then, next time you interview, you can say, okay, don't say this, don't wear the tinfoil, don't beam anything down during the show, don't do anything like that.
Hey, man, I've had a blast. I don't think you have to cut anything out as far as I'm concerned.
Well, thank you.
Maybe the beam one down. I don't know.
Okay, it's time for me to find a sound effect for that, so I'm going to have to work on that.
You wouldn't believe how much I actually chop out of these interviews. Sometimes sometimes Randy will sit there cutting his fingernails, and you can hear him tapping his cigarette on the side. You can hear him lighting his cigarette, and I sit there and I cut all the bad stuff out.
My microphone is so sensitive, and it's an omnidirectional thing, so it just picks up everything. It rained really hard a few nights ago, and when it hits the steel roof on this building, I turn the mic up and everybody can hear it rain, and it rains. This thing picks up the sound so clear. So it's, like she said, I clip my fingernails. You can hear them clipping and flying across the room and hitting the dog in the eye and God knows what else. He doesn't like it any more than she does.
No, probably not. What kind of dog you have?
Great Dane. Alfred, the radio dog.
Alfred, in fact, come and say hello, Alfred. Come and say hello to Jake Wilson. He's awesome.
I've seen him. I've seen the pictures of him, yeah.
Hi, Jake.
How you doing there?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you? You're a pretty cool dude from what Mom says. What? You surprised to hear a talking dog?
Yeah, I believe in it.
Hey, he's got a leg you haven't humped before.
All right.
Oh, Mom, come on. That's disgusting. Well, you seem to enjoy it. Yeah, but I'm not going to California to hump anything. I could agree with that.
What's wrong with humping in California?
Because they're usually humpback whales. Oh, you're not even funny.
He's a poodle. You like poodles?
Who ever heard of a whale poodle? Shut up, stupid dog. All right, can you go back to sleep now?
You guys are crazy.
Yes, please, go back to bed. Night, Pop. Night, Mom.
Night.
Sometimes we just have to run him off because he's such a snarky little dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he gets that from me.
And he sings as well in our Red Solo Cup video. He sings.
You got to make a video of that. You got to do a song and have him sing with you.
Yeah, he does.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
we did Red Solo Cup. There's a video of it, and Alfred sings in it.
Oh, cool. I'll see that one.
There's another one, too, where he actually sings like a short verse. It's called Walk with an Erection.
That was Caesar the radio dog.
Oh, that was Caesar. That was our other Great Dane.
That was our old Great Dane. We always get our pets involved. But yeah, we had... yeah, it was supposed to be... I forgot. It's the Bangles song, but we kind of changed the words slightly.
You think?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he loves to sing and dance with us.
There you go.
Okay, so Randy has his hand on the chain, so we are about to flush you down the Yankee and the Brit Show toilet. If you have anything to say it now or forever hold your peace.
Peace out, my people.
Thank you, Mr. Spock.
Okay.
Here's Jake Wilson and Mardi Gras.
She was standing on the second floor balcony when I was walking down Main Street. Yeah, the smile she gave, I just couldn't behave, so I had to raise a fistful of beans. Talking about Mardi Gras. Yeah, for a truck we came loaded to buck, but we didn't really realize that when they took us in, we dropped all our sins, and brother, I was born again. Talking about Mardi Gras. All the history and the mystery and the women, y'all talking got my mind in awe. Looking for Kalinda on Bourbon Street, mingling with modern day refugees. It's just a safe house for soldiers in New Orleans. Well, the music was loud as we walked through the crowd, and someone slapped a drink in my hand. Ain't no heat inside, just the heat of the night. Now I start to understand. Talking about Mardi Gras. All the history and the mystery and the women, y'all talking got my mind in awe. Looking for Kalinda on Bourbon Street, mingling with modern day refugees. It's just a safe house for soldiers in New Orleans. In my arms she clings close as cage queen, kissing all of my dirt away. Hey, I don't care what you did, boy, just do what you do and love me till the break of day. Talking about Mardi Gras. Then the morning came, I didn't know my name, man. She held me up to my feet. We walked down to the tide with the sun on the rise. Bayou water on her smelling sweet. Talking about Mardi Gras. Then she looked in my eyes and she said with surprise, man, I think you died last night. Talking about Mardi Gras. All the history and the mystery and the women, y'all. Talking got my mind and all. Looking for Calinda on Bourbon Street. Mingling with modern day refugees. It's just a safe house for soldiers in New Orleans.
Old Bert, it's a good job you got the independent artists on the Yankee and the Brit show of a Saturday night. Because the rest of the stuff out there, it's not music nowadays. It's all just bang, bang, bang. It's all just noise. You gotta have booze if you want to impress tycoons and boobs. You need to fill out a sweater. You need 2, but 3 might be better. That's 1 in the back for dancing. You gotta be stacked. Hey, you gotta be grouped, individually packed. For with boobs you can start a romance up. Make a man stand right up and take his hat off. I know it doesn't rhyme, Ducky, but it does seem legitimate. To make a bow for the earth and the mother. Even a cow has to show her udders. You gotta have boobs. B-O-O-B-S. Some push 'em up and some stick 'em out, and some keep them flapping in the breeze. Some tie them down, because if they don't, they would hang down to their knees. Just you tease you. Gotta have boobies if you want men to offer diamonds and rubies. Why, even a tennis player would knock his balls out over the net for a chick who fills each cup until she falls out. Big, small or medium, more oversized. They've all got that flavor and it's homogenized. You gotta have boobs. B-O-O-B-S. Now some have enough and some have too much, and some like me could stand a whole lot more. Some are like watermelons, and some are like grapes, and some are like knocks upon the door. What's your score? You gotta be filled. 2 fried eggs will never grab him like grapefruits will, and they're both breakfast foods. But listen, girls, don't try to fool your lover. Remember, he can go to Gertrude if he was rubber. Some men are like men, and some are behind men. But if he's a boobsman, even a blind man will find him. You gotta have boobs. B-O-O-B-S. You think it's easy to write songs like this? Lots of research. Just think if all us girls have boobies with fluorination, we could take the cavities out of the whole damn nation. A nibble a day keeps the dentist away. Out cockers like big knockers. This goes over great in Derby. You gotta have boobs or be kind to your flat-chested friends. Tomorrow she may be bigger than you are. Start out with 8